On the broadcast this Memorial Day, no let-up in the Gulf as the oil continues to flow. The new plan to stop it carries a big risk, and there are more health fears tonight. Death at sea, a commando raid ends in bloodshed and outrage. What were those ships really carrying? Sky high, with summer almost here, airfares are going up, up, up. What can you do to save money? And hallowed ground, a special place for America's fallen, and what's being done to make sure they're never forgotten. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. I'm Kate Snow in for Brian Williams on this Memorial Day, a day so many Americans spent with family, at barbecues, or at the beach. But there was no break for so many residents and teams of workers down on the Gulf Coast. After failing over the weekend to stop the flow of oil, BP officials are once again going back to the drawing board as more than 20,000 people work furiously to protect the Gulf Coast shoreline from that ever-encroaching red stain. The spill itself now covers some 60,000 square miles. That is 6 times the surface area of Lake Erie. A top White House official called it probably the biggest environmental disaster we've ever faced in this country. We're covering the new concerns over potential health risks and the political fallout, but we begin once again tonight with NBC News Chief Environmental Affairs Correspondent Ann Thompson on the cleanup effort. Good evening, Ann.
Good evening, Kate. The failure of Top Kill decimated the hopes of Louisiana. BP and government officials can tout all the statistics they want. The people here are interested in one fact only, and that's the day this leak will be stopped. At the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, remote-operated vehicles prepare for the latest idea from BP's drawing board. It's called the Lower Marine Riser Package. Robotic vehicles will cut the leaking pipe just above the blowout preventer, temporarily increasing the flow of oil. A small containment cap will be placed over the freshly cut pipe, and if it works, oil will be suctioned to a vessel on the surface. It's another high-risk maneuver with no guarantees.
Think of a fire hydrant that's out of control. You throw mud at it, you try to cap it, and it blows right back. Now, they're going to try to slice the fire hydrant to get a nice clean cut and then hopefully put a nice snug fit.
But it's just a temporary fix.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong.
Amidst growing anger and frustration,
There's plenty of blame to go around for this.
demonstrators slam BP in New Orleans' Jackson Square and at a BP station in Sarasota, Florida.
I have never boycotted anything in my life, but I feel very strongly about this.
Over the weekend, BP's CEO apologized again.
We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And, there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back.
In Venice, the life they knew may never come back. Just 24 hours ago, this 32-acre construction site was covered with brush. By the end of the week, BP will have sleeping quarters for 1,500 cleanup workers, more than 3 times the population of this fishing village. James Keller will cook.
We can most probably cook about 3,000 pork chops at one time.
And bring jobs. He wants to hire up to 25 local residents. But Plaquemines Parish President Billy Nungesser is unimpressed. He wants new barrier islands to keep the oil out, not people.
I appreciate anything they do, but I hope they got a plan to put them out there, maybe to hold hands and keep the oil. I don't know.
Now, the oil could move beyond Louisiana. Federal scientists say forecasts show that the oil slick could head north this week and potentially threaten the barrier islands of Mississippi and Alabama. Kate?
Ann Thompson in Venice, Louisiana tonight. Thank you, Ann.